Have you ever poured everything into a relationship only to realize when things got tough, they were never really there for you? Maybe it wasn't loud, no fight, no betrayal, just silence, missed calls, dodged invites, a handshake that never came. And slowly, the truth sinks in. You were useful, not valued. If you're over 40, leading a business and carrying the weight of responsibility, these moments don't just sting emotionally. They threaten your focus, your confidence, and your leadership presence. In this video, we'll break down 7 subtle signs that someone secretly disrespects you, and how to respond with the calm strength of Stoic philosophy. And before we begin, if you've been through something like this, let us know in the comments with just 3 words. I felt that. Your insight might save someone else from wasting years on the wrong people. Number 1, they joke about your flaws. There's a kind of joke that doesn't feel like a joke at all. And if you've been in business long enough, you know the one. It's the offhand comment from a colleague who never forgets your past failures. The smirk in a meeting when they jab at your leadership style, then toss out, "Relax, I'm just teasing." You laugh because you've been conditioned to, because you're a professional, because calling it out feels petty, but something inside you sharpens. And if you've ever watched someone you admire go through it, you know that pain, the slow erosion, the public undermining wrapped in a punchline. One of my clients, a founder in his 50s, shared this. He and his COO built their company from garage to multi-million-dollar exit. But over time, the jokes started. In front of the younger team, he said, they sounded harmless. But deep down, I knew this wasn't humor. It was strategic sabotage. What he faced wasn't just discomfort. It was a test of boundaries, of identity, of whether he'd stay silent to keep the peace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And when people inject contempt into the room, coated in sarcasm, it seeps into how you see yourself. You hesitate before speaking. You edit yourself. You shrink. That's not humility. That's corrosion. The Stoics taught us we are not to be ruled by impressions. We are to see them for what they are, external, fleeting, unworthy of inner domination. But in high-pressure environments, especially for leaders, we often endure toxic banter. Under the illusion of strength, we say, "I'm bigger than this. I can take it." But letting disrespect slide isn't stoic, it's self-betrayal. Seneca warned, "He who does not prevent a wrong encourages it." So if you've seen this happen to someone who still carries themselves with grace, even while being chipped away, send them this message. Tell them they're not imagining it, they're not being too sensitive, and they don't have to keep laughing just to keep the peace. Because when we allow ridicule in the name of politeness, we're not just tolerating it, we're teaching others that it's acceptable, and the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes. To reclaim the dignity we never should have surrendered. Boundaries aren't confrontation, they're protection. The person who draws the line isn't the problem. The one who keeps crossing it is. So stand beside those who've been quietly diminished by disguised contempt. Remind them of who they are, and more importantly, remind them they don't have to earn respect by enduring subtle humiliation. Number 2, strategic silence, when you're left out without explanation. Have you ever found out about a meeting after it happened? Not because you missed the invite, but because you were never on the list. No one says it outright. There's no confrontation, just silence, missed messages, last-minute plans. We assumed you were too busy. I thought you were out of town. At first, you believe them. You give them the benefit of the doubt, but then it happens again and again until it hits you. You weren't forgotten. You were excluded, politely, and that's when it stings the most. One of my clients, a founder in his 50s, told me about a business mastermind group he helped create. He called it their inner circle, built on trust, referrals, collaboration. But then, dinners started happening without him. Side deals, new WhatsApp groups. When he finally asked, one of them shrugged. "We figured you were too focused on your new fund." That was the turning point, not the exclusion itself, but the casual way it was justified. Subtle exclusion is one of the hardest dynamics to name, especially for seasoned leaders, because it wears a mask. There's no insult, no rejection letter, just absence. And the moment you question it, you risk looking insecure or dramatic. But here's the truth. Silence, especially when patterned, is a message. It tells you exactly where you stand. And if you ignore that message long enough, you don't just lose connection, you lose clarity about your own worth. The Stoics were relentless in their pursuit of truth, even when it hurt. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, speak up. Ask the awkward question, not to prove anyone wrong, but to refuse the kind of ambiguity that breeds self-doubt. So if this is happening to you, here's what a Stoic leader would do. Don't accuse. Inquire. With calm clarity. Say, "Hey, I noticed I wasn't included in the last couple of calls. Is there something that shifted I should be aware of?" That's not neediness. That's leadership. Because truth, whether comforting or confronting, is always better than wondering. Here's what I've seen time and time again. The moment you stop tolerating vague dismissal, you reclaim your space. Either they correct the misunderstanding, or you gain the clarity to walk away with your dignity intact. Either way, you win, because you're not here to beg for a seat at tables that no longer honor you. You're here to build tables where truth, trust, and respect are non-negotiable. And if someone truly values you, they'll make space. If not, their silence already gave you your answer. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." These things are not asking to be judged by you. Leave them alone. Let go, let clarity speak, and let your future be built among those who never make you question your place in the room. Number 3, poison in politeness, the truth behind backhanded praise. It didn't hit me until much later. Months after the deal closed, long after the team photo was posted on LinkedIn, an investor I had personally brought into the round looked me in the eye and said, "You actually handled that negotiation pretty well for someone like you." At the time, I brushed it off. I smiled, shook his hand, told myself, don't overthink it. But deep down, a knot formed. For someone like you? What did that even mean? Was I not experienced enough, not polished enough, not the kind of founder he was used to backing? I didn't ask, because I didn't want to seem defensive. I wanted to play nice. That's the trap. Backhanded compliments are engineered to make you doubt yourself, while making it seem like you're overreacting if you push back. They're packaged in politeness, but laced with poison. And if you've ever ignored these subtle jabs, telling yourself they're not worth the trouble, you're not alone. We've all done it, especially in leadership, especially when we're trying to keep relationships intact. But here's what I've learned. Just because someone smiles when they put you down doesn't make the blow any softer. These comments aren't harmless. They're psychological sandpaper. They wear down your confidence over time, making you second-guess not only your performance, but your place at the table. And the longer you let them pass, the deeper they cut. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject. In other words, when someone critiques you in a way that says more about their insecurity than your competence, it's your duty to protect your mind from absorbing it as truth. I once coached a founder, late 80s, former engineer turned CEO, and for years he endured these kinds of remarks from a board member. "You're surprisingly charismatic for a technical guy." This is a decent pitch, considering you're not really a storyteller. He laughed it off. He didn't want tension, but over time it showed. He held back during pitches. He deferred unnecessarily. He let others present in his place. He was playing small, and it all started with small insults, disguised as encouragement. If this sounds familiar, it's not too late to change course. Start with this. The next time someone gives you a compliment that lands like a punch, pause. Don't nod. Don't laugh. Ask them gently but directly, "What do you mean by that?" Watch how quickly the mask slips. That one question has the power to shift the dynamic completely. Because here's the truth, you are not obligated to accept someone else's insecurity as your identity. Their words say far more about their ceiling than about your potential. And the moment you begin to see that, you stop shrinking to fit their comfort zone. You start standing in your own, respectfully, unapologetically, stoically. Have you ever received a compliment that left you questioning your worth? Share the one line you still remember, because sometimes the words that cut deepest are the ones that came with a smile. Number 4, absent in the storm, when they're missing at your worst. Have you ever gone through a personal crisis and realized the people you thought would be there for you quietly disappeared? No call, no message, no check-in, just silence. You convince yourself they're busy, you give them grace. But as the days pass and the silence grows louder, a painful truth starts to settle in. You were only valuable to them when things were good. I once worked with a serial entrepreneur, mid-40s, successful, well-connected, but during a messy lawsuit, one that threatened to destroy everything he'd built, the calls stopped. People he had mentored, invested in, helped raise funding for, vanished. It was like I no longer existed, he told me, except when they needed something. Then suddenly, they remembered my number. At first, he made excuses. They're probably busy. Maybe they don't know what to say. But deep down, he knew their loyalty wasn't to him. It was to his position, to his success, to what he could offer. That realization broke something open in him. And maybe it's breaking something open in you too, because if you're being honest, you've seen the signs before. You just didn't want to believe them. You remembered the good times, the laughs, the favors, the long talks about vision and values. So when they disappeared during your lowest point, you weren't just stunned by their absence. You were stunned by the fact that you didn't see it coming. That's what makes it sting, not just the abandonment, but the denial. Seneca once wrote, "It is in times of security that the soul should prepare itself for difficult times. While fortune is bestowing favors, then is the time for it to be strengthened against her rebuffs." This isn't about becoming cynical. It's about becoming prepared. Stoicism doesn't ask you to stop trusting. It teaches you to trust wisely, to root your worth in what you can control, your integrity, your resilience, your ability to rise alone if you must. So if you're realizing now that someone was never truly there for you, don't let bitterness take over. Let that silence be your filter. Because pain doesn't just reveal who shows up, it reveals how long you've tolerated one-sided loyalty, how often you've poured into people who only show up with empty cups. Here's what I tell my clients: don't chase ghosts. Reach out once if it brings you peace, but don't beg for presence. True support isn't always loud, but it's consistent. the people who belong in your next chapter, are the ones who sat with you in your last storm, not just your last celebration. When people leave you during your darkest hour, it's not your job to drag them back in. It's your job to move forward without resentment, but with awareness. And to remember this: a temporary absence is understandable, but a total disappearance, that's a decision. Let it teach you. Let it refine your circle. And most of all, let it sharpen your sense of self. So next time, you don't wait for a crisis to find out who was never truly there. Number 5, selective availability. When "I'm busy" becomes a message. Have you ever noticed someone only seems busy when it's you who's reaching out? Not once, not twice, but every single time. They're suddenly slammed with meetings, family stuff, back-to-back travel, but somehow they've got time for others. You see them at dinner parties, networking events, commenting on mutual friends' posts. But when it's your message, your invite, your name on the caller ID, radio silence. No harsh words, no confrontation, just a quiet fade. That leaves you questioning if you're imagining things. I remember what a mentor, a seasoned investor in his late 50s, once told me. He had this long-time friend. Weekly check-ins, every Thursday like clockwork, then slowly. The cancellations began. First it was work, then family, then nothing. Weeks passed, then months. And when I asked him what hurt the most, he didn't hesitate, realizing he still showed up for everyone else, just not for me. And that's when it hits you. They're not too busy. They're just too busy for you. Seneca warned us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. But let's be clear, this isn't imagined, because slowly it begins to wear on you. You start to wonder, what changed? Was it something I said? Did my failure embarrass them? Did my success intimidate them? And here's what I've learned. Busyness isn't a flaw, it's a choice. People make time for what they value. Not once, not just when it's convenient, consistently. So what do you do when you feel that slow fade? You don't chase, you don't beg, and you don't take it personally. You apply the Stoic lens. Observe without judgment, act with integrity, reach out once, clearly, calmly. Say something like, "Hey, I've noticed we haven't caught up in a while. I value our connection, but I also respect if priorities have shifted." That message, it reclaims your dignity. It gives them space to show up or bow out. Either way, you're no longer stuck in limbo, and more importantly, you redirect your energy toward the people who do show up, who reply, who follow through, who don't just say they care, but prove it with presence. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be E1. So don't waste your time decoding silence. Don't overanalyze absence. Live your values. Lead with presence. And remember this, the people who truly belong in your life won't make you feel like an afterthought. They'll make you feel like a priority without ever needing to be reminded. Number 6, distance that speaks, the body language of hidden resentment. Have you ever reached out for a simple handshake and felt the other person pull away? Like your presence was a problem? It's subtle, instant, but unforgettable. In business, we're trained to read between the lines, tone, timing, body language, and nothing communicates louder than someone avoiding even the most basic form of physical connection. Maybe it's a handshake that's skipped. Maybe they lean back when everyone else leans in. Maybe it's that quiet stiffness in their posture the moment you walk in. At first you wonder, is it me? Did I cross a line? Are they just not the touchy type? But then you watch them with others, arms around shoulders, big laughs ending in back slaps, hugs after deals are signed, and suddenly the message is loud and clear. It's not that they're uncomfortable with everyone, they're just uncomfortable with you. I'll never forget what one of my clients shared. A co-founder of a mid-sized SaaS company out of Boston. We brought in a strategic partner to help us scale, he said. At first, everything looked good. Emails, calls, aligned goals. But in person, he barely made eye contact, no handshake, always sat at an angle like he was physically pulling away. At first, my client brushed it off. Introversion maybe, but then he saw that same partner warmly embrace another investor at a networking event. And in that moment, the truth sank in. He respected them, not me. I was a pawn, not a peer. And that hits deep, because moments like this don't just bruise ego. They strike at the core of what we all want. Connection. Especially in leadership, especially when you've spent decades learning how to read people, your instinct. It's not just emotion, it's data. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If someone consistently creates distance, chances are their thoughts about you have already shifted, and their body is revealing what their mouth won't say. So what do? You don't retaliate. You don't confront in anger, but you don't ignore it either. You lead with calm clarity. You create space for honesty. Try something like, I've sensed some hesitation in our dynamic. If there's something I need to be aware of, I'm open to hearing it. That one line, it disarms tension without escalating it. But if the discomfort continues, then take the Stoic path, let it go. Because their reaction says more about their inner world than your external worth. You deserve to build with people who don't flinch at presence, but meet you with respect, with warmth, with openness. In the end, connection matters. And if someone keeps you at arm's length, believe them, their silence is a boundary, and your strength is knowing when to honor it and move forward. Number 7, quiet betrayal, when trust is traded for attention. There's a specific kind of betrayal that doesn't come with raised voices or broken promises. It comes with whispers behind closed doors. You think you're safe. You confide in someone. You open up, share a truth about your business, your fears, your family, and for a moment, you believe what you said was sacred, until one day, you hear your own words echoed back to you, from someone who should never have known them. One of my clients, an entrepreneur in his early 50s, once told me about his right-hand man. They'd built the company together for almost a decade. Late nights, hard losses, trust, brotherhood. But during a rough stretch, layoffs, investor pressure, he noticed something shift. His reputation with the board started to erode. Questions came up that didn't align with facts. Doubts were whispered, confidence shaken. And then, in a casual chat with another founder, he learned the source, his own partner. Nothing direct, he said, just enough suggestion, enough spin to make people question my leadership without ever confronting me. That was the day the friendship died. Not from one big betrayal, but from 100 quiet cuts. Because that's the thing about gossip. It doesn't just hurt, it destroys trust. And the worst part? The damage is invisible at first. Because gossip isn't about truth, it's about positioning, about control, about power, at your expense. As Epictetus warned, keep silence for the most part, or say only what is necessary, and in a few words. Not because words don't matter, but because once spoken, They carry weight, especially when they come from someone you once trusted. If you're watching this and thinking of someone, you probably know someone still giving people like that the benefit of the doubt. Someone being too patient, too forgiving, too willing to believe. Maybe it was just venting. But here's the truth. People who gossip to you will gossip about you. It's not an accident. It's a pattern. And if it's happening behind your back, that's not a cue for confrontation. It's a cue to create distance. With calm, with clarity, not drama. This isn't revenge, it's discernment. You don't need to call everyone out, but you do need to adjust your proximity. Let your silence become your boundary. Let their absence speak louder than any retaliation. And if someone you care about is caught in this dynamic right now, send this to them. Let it be the mirror they've been avoiding, because no matter how painful it is to see the truth, it's nothing compared to the damage done by pretending it's not there. Some relationships end with a fight, others end with a realization. But the most freeing ones, they end in silence. When you stop explaining yourself and start choosing peace. In business and in life, relationships aren't just emotional, they're strategic. As a leader, your time, energy, and trust are assets. And the 7 signs we've explored today, they're not just social red flags. They're early indicators of imbalance, manipulation, and misaligned values, things that can quietly erode your clarity, your confidence, and your ability to lead with strength. When someone avoids you, mocks you, or only shows up when it benefits them, don't justify it. Recognize it. Because the moment you stop excusing disrespect is the moment you start protecting your peace and your vision. So ask yourself, which of these signs have you tolerated? And what would shift in your business and life if you stopped? If this video sparked something in you, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more content grounded in timeless wisdom. And drop a comment below. What's one sign you wish you'd seen sooner? And how will you handle it differently now? The answers may surprise you, and they just might help someone else too.